What up, y'all? We're doing a book club. About
Yeah.
a book club.
Oh yeah.
It was tough when I was writing the title because it was like live stream book club live stream, the Southern book club of the book clubs about vampires.
Yes. So
For
what's up,
show.
everyone? Kivox coerced me into drinking a monster.
It's gonna be amazing.
I'm gonna probably die of
You
a
need
heart
to like
attack.
actually drink it and not just like sip on it. This cup used to be filled up to here, and now it's down to here. So if you want to call that drinking,
Regular monster I despise the taste of. This is like grape. It's not the best. It kind of freaked me out a little bit because the bubbles were blue.
that was so cool. That's so cool. I love it.
It can't be good for you.
So we're doing a book club today, guys. If you guys are here for anything else, I mean, you could just hang out and listen to us be ourselves and see what we think. I liked this book. By the way, it's this book, the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I can't read backwards. Wait, that's not even backwards.
No.
I just blew my. I made it harder because I was trying to read it backwards.
So I forgot to say hello to everyone. Hello, T and Benedict and Laugh Hard and Jack Gregory and someone I can't say your name. I'm sorry.
That's their name.
And Kerbo
Oh, it's
Customs.
not even English.
And hello, Chelsea. And hello, Bree. And RSB Champ. T says I prefer coffee tasted monster, no bubbles. I don't mind the bubbles. I just hate that like.
She doesn't like cold coffee.
No, I hate cold coffee. But what's that flavor that's in yours that I hate? You said it before. It's
Guarana.
Like, yeah.
This is the best part of it. This is
this is the book club.
My favorite part.
So, if you don't want this spoiled for you, don't watch because...
Or if you don't care, keep watching and just hang out.
So...
But if you're going to leave, make sure you like the video before you leave.
Cold coffee is life.
Don't they love cold coffee in Japan?
Yeah.
I want to go to Japan someday.
Do you have $10,000?
Is it just, do I get to go by myself?
No.
So do I need more than 10? Or is 10 just for...
probably would realistically need like 12 to 15 to like legit...
Because we'd have to stay in like a hotel the whole time.
Yeah.
That's like $1,000.
Everyone's agreeing
2,000.
that cold coffee is life. No, it's gross. I can't.
Cold coffee is like, you like coffee ice cream?
Yes.
Same thing?
Nope.
Same thing.
No. Okay, so what did you guys rate this book? I would say it was definitely better than We Sold Our Souls by like a lot. It was on the same wavelength kind of as the Exorcism book, My Best Friend's Exorcism, but slightly less good than that one. I still say, and let me know, Chelsea, if you feel the same way, because I think you're the one that read it too. I still say that this one's better. I mean, Exorcism is better. Cold coffee is bae, 5 out of 5.
Come on then.
So, Books on Stereo, you gave this book a 5 stars. Bree gave it a 5 stars. T gave it a 3.
Come on.
3, that's it.
Nice.
What did you give it?
Like a 4.
Yeah, I think I gave it a 4, I would say.
It wasn't like my type of book, like, but what I did like about it was the whole vampire part of it, like the rest of it, like the whole family drama was done really well, was written extremely well. I think that like, I was surprised at how
I told you, he's really good at like writing character interactions, and like he's a very detailed writer.
This was an adult book, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, because it felt like an adult book.
There's always in these books like some sort of like weird stuff, like strange stuff, without getting into like too much detail about the Exorcism book, because not everyone has read that. But like, I feel like the whole rape scene in this was a little too much, like a little bit.
See, what's funny about that is that normally I don't like sex stuff.
Yeah, but this was like beyond.
But I thought that this was okay because it was more like to be disturbing. The rest of it, like the sex stuff in books, is always like to like make you like it. It's like, yeah. And I'm like, no, I don't want to imagine, what's your boy's name that wrote What's His Face?
Jay Kristoff.
I don't want to imagine Jay Kristoff writing a sex scene in his like dark room by himself.
Yeah, but those books are like about romance. Like I told you, like Grady Hendrix usually doesn't put romance in his books.
I really like this book. The only reason I didn't give it more is because it just wasn't like my type of book. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was written really well, and I think even for somebody that's more like me that likes more like the fantasy stuff and stuff like that, there was enough like like mystery and intrigue and like at some point I was just like, is there even a vampire? Is he really a vampire? Is this in her head? Is this a thing? But you know, if you guys did read it, there was actually like some weird. Also, the vampire thing was weird. It was like he wasn't just like I'm gonna bite your neck and
Well,
suck
it's
out
weird
your
because
blood.
like he was portrayed as the only vampire.
Well, that's what he said.
That's what he says. But then like I am still confused as to what happened with that lady that he took over her house. Like, did he turn her into a vampire? I mean, she was
I
eating
know.
people.
Yeah, and how come
And,
the
like-
kids like just like killed themselves?
Yeah, well, I think it's because like it was
They
so
were addicted to
euphoric
it. Yeah, I
that
know.
they were like addicted
But I'm saying
to him.
if like yeah, exactly. Did he change them? And is that what was happening to the lady? And does that mean that he had sex with the old lady?
I don't know.
Right? Like, because
Yeah.
that's what happened to the.
So
to,
like
what was her
he
name?
like raped that woman. I am so bad with all these
Mhm.
people's names. I'm gonna forget them all.
I'm gonna be
I
honest with
honestly
you.
don't even remember the main character.
Patricia?
I don't know. I don't even remember his name. I remember none of them.
It
It
started
was
with a P.
Patricia.
Yeah.
So
Only. Oh, and there was a blue boy. His name was Blue. Her son.
yeah.
Okay.
When is the next vote? So I guess a little bit of a spoiler. We're not actually voting for next month's book club pick. I let Kivox pick for once because he always complains about me
I
not
never
letting
get to
him
pick. I had to read this book, even though it wasn't terrible. I had to read it. No
I-
choice.
I adored the depiction of women during that time and how it touches on racial dynamics. Yeah, I feel like it was well done.
Yeah.
You know, that everything about like the characters and how they were, and you know, the dynamic I'm guessing you're talking about is like the women stay home and take care of the house, and like the men went off to work.
The racial thing, I think she was
no,
talking
the
about.
race, that's a different
Miss,
subject.
what was her name? Miss. Again, we don't know the names.
I don't know anyone's name.
But yeah, she was a badass.
Yeah, absolutely.
I loved when she like came out and like yelled at the kid that was like harassing the two women that came when they went to go try to find her.
Yeah.
And she was just like, "I'm gonna tell your mom," and he's like, "Okay, I'm sorry." He's like a tough guy, and then instantly went into being like, oh shoot,
Yeah.
she's here, you know. That was funny.
T said, I don't want to imagine Jay Kristoff either.
So that's the thing too. Back to what I was saying about the like the way the characters like acted and stuff that happened. Like I liked that it was like there was a lot of bad. Like though that all the families went through like so much loss, right? It started off with the old lady, the crazy old lady, the ear, and then the grandma, right? And then we find out about the kids.
Yeah.
And then it's like it was like death after death, even though, and it was weird too. Like it was like a, 10 years, 15 year span.
No, I don't think
It was
so.
it was at least like 10.
I thought it was like a year.
No, because when they first started, it was the book club, and then like 3 years.
Oh
went
yeah,
by,
they did have a.
And then like 7 years
yeah.
went by. You know, like that initial book club, the incident happened where she didn't read the book, and then they broke up, and then there was like a time skip where like, oh, we've been doing this book club for however many years. We read all these.
And
awesome
now it's
books.
like 50 people in the book club.
No. That was before that even. So there was 2 big time skips. So there was that initial time skip at the very beginning where it was like 3 years.
Yeah.
And then there was just the women in the book club. And then a bunch of stuff happened.
I'm saying after the big time skip is when they went to this house and there was like a ton of people in the book club.
All the men were a part of the book club too.
And it's like, dude, just let the women have their book club. You're like
stepping
on their
parade. You're trying to tell me something?
No.
Is that? Because it's funny because now we're going to read a book that I want to read. And I'm going to force everybody to read my book. My sports book. I'm just kidding. It's not about sports at all. It's fantasy.
T said not enough vampires. I would like to have a bit more. The vampires were hella weird.
Yeah.
Got his books on stereo. I related to this one more than Exorcist. I can identify because I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I preferred this one a bit more, but definitely would say the 2 stories are on the same level. I didn't get the emotional connection still in this book that I got with my best friend's exorcism, but this book also didn't resonate with me because I'm not a stay-at-home mom like it did with you. So
You kind of are.
I did get a little bit choked up at the end, but not like the other. I was sobbing with my best friend's
Dude, it was
exorcism.
crazy too, like with the daughter and stuff, and how long had that been happening? I was just like, oh my geez.
Like, imagine walking in and seeing this thing like eating your daughter, like
in like both a sexual and like a literal way.
And like how they explained it was like filtering his blood.
Again, we don't know how much of that is fact, right?
Yeah.
Like we really don't. And then the thing is, so if he needed that so bad, how could he possibly still be alive after they chopped him up? Like, that's one little loophole I found, because like it's like, oh, if he needs it, if he needs to feed like every couple months or once a year or whatever, it had been another big skip at that point. It wasn't like a couple days later. It was another like decent skip, and like he was still his parts were still moving around. Like his literally filleted bones and muscle were still like
this is what I wanted you guys to clarify for me.
Yeah, what happened to his
because
body? Where they put it?
I was under the impression that they brought him to like the crematorium, that they knew somebody that worked there or whatever, and they cremated him and then kind of buried him. So but he says no.
What I thought they did was they put him in like a tomb, and I thought it was like that lady and her husband's tomb.
It was. That part, yes, but I thought they cremated him before that.
But they couldn't have cremated him because he was moving and stuff.
I don't know. Maybe he's bringing himself back together.
And then, dude, I was so nervous when he was like, I could feel my spinal cord reconnecting.
It's so crazy.
And I'm just like, geez, guys, hurry up. Do whatever you're going to do. Chop off his head. Do something. Just like saw it off.
Exorcism in this one.
I just got really like grim there.
Are set in the same city.
Yeah, like the same town, right?
Yeah, this one's earlier, correct? It must be. The other one was the 80s. I liked the whole portrayal of the vampirism in this one. It reminded me of like Lost Boys level. I never saw Lost Boys.
Lost Boys is like very campy and very cheesy. Like I saw some of it and I'm just like, it's like very.
I think this would make a good HBO limited series. I could see it. I could definitely see it.
Yeah, I think like a one season.
This would be totally like maybe like a 5-episode thing or something.
Yeah, like one season.
It'd be cool.
I mean, and the thing is too, it's so down to earth, where there would be very little effects needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would be like a somewhat cheap series to make, because like they wouldn't reveal him
until... they don't show a lot of his scenes at all. Like there's very few.
Yeah, it's like him crouching over. I mean, if you guys have seen the Strain with the little worm things, like it was very similar to that with the mouth thing. That's what I imagine. Remember, because it like split down the middle and like it came out.
Came out and like attached.
Yeah. I still gotta finish that show.
I got more of an emotional connection, and I think it's because I have kids. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why I feel like my best friend's exorcism, the relationships and the characters were just so expertly done that you cared so much about them. But I feel like these characters were all written really well too. I'm just horrendous with names, so I never remember names no matter what. But I'll remember like situations. The beginning prologue of this book was so good. The whole "it ends in blood" analogy. I don't remember that. Do you?
I tend to forget the very beginning of books.
I do
like,
too,
because
you don't know what's going on yet.
Yeah, and you can't to me I can't ever connect it. But then when you go back and like restart it, like I've been reading Sufficiently Advanced Magic, one of my favorite series. I recommend it to everybody. But I'm like at the beginning. I'm not like in this still like the first 10th of the book.
The first line. The story ends in blood.
It's really good, and there's like now that I know about it, I'm, you know, it's like when you see somebody in a movie, and you don't know who they are, and then you see another show with them, and you're like, oh, I really like this guy, he's really cool. Then you go back and rewatch that movie, you're like, hey, it's
so and so from that.
It's
other
Hugh
thing.
Jackman from that other movie I watched. I didn't know he was in X-Men.
Yeah,
you know, that type of thing.
I did like how the women at the end were like super badass, and they were just like, you know what? We're gonna rip this body apart, do what we gotta do, save our town. Did you ever think that, like, they weren't gonna come back and help her? Because I did. Because, like, remember they all just, like, shunned Patricia and were just like, you're crazy.
What
like,
was her nickname?
I don't know. They're
She
like,
had a nickname.
I can't believe you talked us into this initially, and then like, in that picture, man. Like, they kept referencing the picture, and then it took like 300 pages for her finally to see the picture. It's the same thing with all the vampires. They don't really die when they don't eat. They get weak to a point where they don't really move. It's the same in Vampire Diaries. Okay.
Yeah, but Vampire Diaries is really bad.
It is, but I mean, it's just cheesy.
Yeah, but what happens in Twilight when they don't eat? They become like ravenous, right? Or is it the word?
I don't know.
They become like feral. Like they're really like
Yeah,
they can't hold it back. It's like iZombie, which is another terrible great show. I love that show, but it's also very cheesy. But I love the jokes. It's a very silly show. But in that, it was like if zombies didn't eat, they would become basically like the Renero, whatever the name of that movie. I forgot. The like Dawn of the Dead and stuff style zombie, where they're like brainless zombies that just want to eat. I never understood the whole like wanting to eat brain thing for zombies. Like, why do they want to eat brains? Why do they go brains?
Okay, wait. They couldn't risk cremating him because someone could find out. They couldn't do it themselves, the people who actually did the cremation. Okay.
All right, so check this out, though. Realistically, you have a bag of muscle and bone that is squirming and moving. I go, hey, police, I killed this vampire. Boom. Look at it. And it's still moving. They wouldn't be like, oh my God, you killed a person. It's like, it's still moving. Just leave it alone and you'll see that it'll come back to life.
I guess.
And you can release me. Here, hold me in prison for like a couple weeks or whatever, however long it's going to take this thing to reconnect or whatever, you know? Like, bring it somewhere, because then they could figure it out and like do something about it. And you know, and like if they try to kill it, I'm sure that there's a ton of scientists out there that would love to get their hands on the vampire body,
sure.
Right? Even in like the 50s or whenever this was. When was this?
I would guess about the 50s or the 60s, maybe. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I was kind of rooting for James and Patricia to get together. I don't know what that says about me. James.
The vampire.
I'm glad that she left her husband.
I love
he was a cheating jerk.
I love the fact that he like didn't believe her when she was like, I want to leave my husband.
Yeah.
She's like, are you kidding me right now? Like,
it's like, dude, you cheated on me, you stupid jerkhead.
No, James. When James didn't believe her that she was going to leave her husband. Oh, that whole thing. And he was like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm like 5 times older than you or whatever, 100, 200 years old, 400 years old.
Certain character details were disturbing.
Late 80s? I don't think so. This does not seem like a late
1988 to 1996.
What?
Then why is there... I just feel like this was written very 60s.
I mean, it was the South.
Oh, they do have the dates.
It was the South.
1996.
I mean, the South was a lot more racist than the North, but...
Damn.
I mean, that's literally when I came to America.
1988.
No, wait, that's when I was born, but when I came to America, it was like...
I never would have guessed that.
Early 90s.
And clearly I didn't pay attention to the dates.
I mean, in the audiobook, they don't tell you the date.
They do.
They tell you the year?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they read all of that.
I don't believe you, dude.
Certain character details were disturbing and added nothing to the story. Our main character's son is obsessed with Nazis. Why? I don't know. The way it was discussed was so casual. I think it just goes to show how I read it was she really wasn't paying attention to what this kid was doing. Like, she was so focused on this guy and him being a vampire and kind of saving the town and like... This kid just went off the handle and started doing whatever, and it just kind of shows that she was more focused on other things and not really honing in on the fact that her kid is obsessed with Nazis. That's how I took it. I could be wrong. And that's why it became like... I think she finally eventually realizes it and then realizes that like her husband didn't really help her in that aspect, and so she had to focus on him. The part where Patricia was in James's attic was the grossest, scariest thing I've ever read.
With
I
the
hate bugs so much.
thing going in
Oh
her
my
ear?
god, it was so graphic, but it was so well done, but so cringy. I agree. The Vampire Diaries show is better than the books. It is, but it's still cringy.
Wait, the show is better than the books?
Dude, the books are bad.
Wow, because the show is terrible.
I read the first like 1.5, and I was just like,
we watched like a ton of seasons of the show, and it was
completely different.
And it was terrible. It was very much a CW show.
Yeah.
Like it was the quintessential.
The books are very CW too, but
Great.
they're not as good in my opinion. Anne Rice says vampires are like that too. When they don't eat, they go into a coma-like state in the underworld movies. Vampire Diaries is one of the best vampire shows post-Twilight. That scene was disgusting to read about. The way you said the South, the end sounded full of judgment. Well,
I mean, the old South.
they're at least in America, like the South was like the last. It's hard to talk about this without getting all political, but
I'm not being political at all. I'm just
essentially saying. Like the South was the last.
I feel like this has nothing to do with politics at all.
To stop racism, and they probably have the most racist people still in America are part of the South.
You also have grandparents that are down there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're racist.
No, I didn't say that. I just said that you have grandparents.
And that's why it's so hard to talk about stuff like that on here, because no, I do not think that makes everyone in the South racist. Of
course not.
But I always feel like you have to plug that in there. They are the last people that, and that's literally what the whole Civil War was about. The North was like, you know, slaves and racism is bad, and the South was like, no.
Are you giving us a history lesson right now about that?
Not everyone's from here and knows this stuff.
Okay, it's for the outer people. I was just like, Meek, I think we all know about the.
Well,
I mean,
maybe
look,
not.
I'm gonna be honest. The other countries know more about our history than most of us do. You know, for more than the average American does. So.
Teases, they tell you the years because I listened to the book and don't have a physical copy.
Shut up, T. Shut up. Stop it.
The Nazi thing adds to the story. It's not unnecessary. It was a commentary on Southern culture and racism, which I think was the entire point of the book. I think it was a big part of the book. So, you know, touching upon that, like I said, the South is still known to be kind of racist, and you still have people that fly Confederate flags in the South.
Oh, you have them up here,
I'm sure
too.
you have them up here, too,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
mostly it's the South, unfortunately. Which sucks, because, I mean, I used to live in the South, and I'm not like that, so...
I was born in the South. The
America.
deep South.
The bug in the ear thing, I nearly died.
I was doing the lawn when I was listening to that part of it, and I was like in the back behind the fence where all the bugs are, and they're flying around me. And I had headphones in, but I was just like, ah.
There's an author's note, and it basically says that the way people act is based on how he grew up. That sucks. I mean, it sucks that he had to see that firsthand. I mean, I don't know. Oh my god, cat.
She's so annoying, dude.
I love you, but you don't want to be up here. There's a stinky doggy up here. Meow, yeah.
Meow.
So, I think that's pretty much like the points that stood out most to me. I get so disturbed by like the animal thing too, like how the animal was like sick at the end, and it was just like.
Yeah, I was so confused. I was like, I thought this dog died like forever
I did
ago.
too.
I thought it died when the rats attacked.
Yeah.
And then I was still alive. I was like, wait, what? This dog is still alive?
And that's like the one thing. Spoiler alert. The one part of my best friend's exorcism that almost made me rate it down from a 5 was the animal cruelty. And it's not like the main characters being cruel to animals, but I don't like reading about animal cruelty no matter where it comes from, so it disturbs me. All the rats and roaches. I was in the car listening when the bugs happened and just screaming no over and over. It was a really gross part. I was doing a jigsaw puzzle. We're all sharing our experiences of where we were when this happened.
I was pooping.
While doing the lawn?
Yep.
Are you a dog?
It was really gross. It's disgusting.
Pooping?
There's a little poop. I made that for you, Mick. It's a little Japanese poop.
Doing dishes, LOL. Anyone else? It was such like a monumental moment of the book that everyone remembers where exactly they were when
That's
they
a
were
good point. Yeah.
listening to it. It was traumatizing. It was gross. I really enjoyed that whole like scene with her being upstairs. It was so like gut-wrenching. But it also went to show that like in this world the vampires weren't like supernatural in the sense of like their senses. So like he knew that she was there, but like he didn't find her. And I feel like in Twilight they would have been able to smell her like that and known exactly where she was. And like any other vampire book, like they have these like preternatural senses where like they just know and like they can smell humans and just know where they are. And like I kept waiting for that in this. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna find her, and then he never does.
Yeah, I was kind of confused. I was like, why didn't he keep looking? If he knows she's here, just keep looking.
Yeah.
You know your house. And then he just like left.
Your videos have been keeping me occupied during these tough times. Thank you. Yeah. I can't really think of anything else. And anyone think of anything else? What time is it? We got 30 minutes. Pretty good. Means it was a pretty good book. I really enjoyed it. I think you would definitely like My Best Friend's Exorcism if you liked this.
But I don't want to.
Please?
I don't want to read it. Do we have the audiobook?
Sure we do.
No, we don't. No, I don't want to read it.
I would totally reread that book.
That's great. I don't want to read it. I can only read these type of books so much.
He left because someone knocked on the door, I think. Oh, yeah. The audiobook was bomb. The audiobook was pretty good.
Good. Let's move on to the book for next month. When's next month?
I don't even know what next month's book is going to be about. Osmond just drooled all over my book. Thank you very much. Because Kivox picked it out. It's going to be June 28th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
My birthday is next month, ladies and gents. It's the moment I've waited for.
Yeah. Are you going to put up the book?
Oh, sure, m'lady. Oh, m'lady. Here's the book we're reading.
Someone
right
called
there.
because the housing development was on fire that they were investors for. Oh, yeah.
Right there. That's the one we're reading.
Ow, cat.
Hopefully we're not turned into robots.
Are you getting your old age pension next month?
Yeah.
The big 4-0. Nice, Kivox. He's not really.
I don't have a pension, dude.
Dude,
I
who
wish.
does these days?
People do.
What?
Yeah.
They were investors. Okay, happy early one. Happy early birthday. Ooh, the big
65.
Wait, what? I've never heard of this book either. It was
Don't
recommended.
worry about it. We're gonna read it.
And you notice this guy's name? That's not his real name, by the way, but it's
AFK.
effing awesome. AFK. Pretty dope.
Away from keyboard, right?
Yeah. So, I know nothing about this book. A friend of ours read it, highly recommended it, made him want to read it. Now we're forced to read it because Kivox was like, no one listens to me.
It's a literary RPG. So enjoy, kids.
I will read you the synapse.
Synapse. I haven't even read the synapse.
Oh my god.
Oh, what is happening?
Protests.
Jesus. Watch this. Ready? Make. That was terrible. Terrible timing. It didn't work out as well as I wanted it to. I'm so sorry.
Ruins Ascensions.
Are you okay?
Ascension Day. And he finally dies for the first time. His newly revived body can learn spells and abilities for the class given him by the goddess Uru.
Uru?
And dying is no longer permanent.
Oh!
Ruin's high intelligence makes becoming a mage inevitable. With his new powers, he will locate his parents and clear their family name, but nothing goes as Ruin imagined, and I don't want to know anything else.
Sweet! It's about magic!
It has, honestly, like, pretty good reviews.
Has 4.5 stars. Boom, boom, boom.
The audiobook is available, so I did not buy the physical book yet because it was like freaking $18 for a paperback, which is crazy. I get it. He's a self-published author, and it's like expensive to make books and stuff, but you can get the Audible book if you have Audible and you have points. Otherwise, it's about like $18, I think. And the Kindle book is like $5, I think. Or if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free on that. But I don't.
Or if you get it, maybe they don't have it at libraries, right? I'm assuming.
No, they don't. I mean, I had to like do a special search to even find the paperback. Like it wasn't in the normal options. So yeah. I told you to ask him for a suggestion, and he said no at first. That's true.
I said no because I didn't want to bother you with it. Because you seemed very upset when she came up with that idea, and then you asked me, and you're like, "Oh, great! I gotta ask you for your stupid book." And I'm like, "Fine, just tell her I don't want to get a book." And then you were like, "No, just do it." And I was like, "Okay, how about this book then?" And then you put it in. That was the story behind the text, just so you know, T, because that was T that asked that, right?
I hope so. I don't trust star reviews on Goodreads. True. They are usually bad. But you never know. Kivox picking a book about magic. Who saw that coming?
Not me.
Oh, I have to buy it. Makes sad face. We'll see then. I mean...
Get it on Audible. It's like $5...
Or
not on Audible, on
Kindle. It's
Kindle.
like $5.
It's like $5.
Or, like I said, if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free.
You just read it on your phone.
But... I just got it on Audible because, like, I would like to get the physical book, but I don't want to spend that much money on a paperback unless I know I like it. I'm cheap now with books.
There's a sequel to this one, too.
Oh, yay.
If it's good, I'm just saying.
You not like it?
You can't even see her. What we're doing, we're just blowing at the book.
I can't concentrate on audio, but I will see how I do with it.
You get on Kindle.
I do like self-publish.
See, I don't really like judge books by if they're self-published or not. No. I don't care if they're self-published.
A lot of the books you want to read are, but...
But I'm just saying, that's not a reason, that's not a reasoning for me, you know what I mean? I'm not like, oh, this is self-published, so I'm gonna get it because I like self-published.
9, come here!
Hey!
Hey!
Just close the door for now. We're wrapping up anyway.
I can't stand reading a book. I only like to listen to audiobooks. It takes me so long to physically read a book.
Me too, man. Me too.
I like both, but lately I've been just
You should change your name to audiobook. Oh wait, it's already book on stereo.
Self-published.
It already makes sense. I'm sorry.
Self-published are the real thing. The authors don't have to change the book for publication houses. True. I do tend to like self-published authors that do hire an editor, though, because you can tell. Not all the time, because some people just are good at writing books and putting it out there, but...
Is Brandon Sanderson self-published?
No.
Exactly. My point. Boom. Dropping the mic, baby.
Jeez. I think, like, with anything, there's no one extreme answer. Not all published books are good, and not all self-published books are good. And
you shouldn't judge a book by its publisher.
I read a lot of indie romance. Self-published titles tend to be cheaper. I agree. If I'm going to read a romance, I usually read something self-published because it's like $2.
I disagree. If I'm going to read a romance, I don't.
Lately, I just do audio. I can't read. Dude, I've been having the same problem.
I thought it was pretty
So
funny.
I've been doing puzzles.
But whatever.
But I've recently discovered that puzzles make me severely dizzy.
Severely?
For whatever reason.
Sickeningly.
Dude, I was like so sick
annoyingly dizzy. That's what it makes you.
Yeah. Especially with ebooks. Well, yeah, the ebooks are like really cheap for self-published books. Yeah, one of my good friends in college has self-published books. And they're really freaking good.
What I don't understand
they don't have audiobooks
is why a self-published book has to be more expensive
A physical copy?
Yeah.
Because they don't have like a publication house like backing them, so they have to like privately hire a company to like publish them or
But
print them.
when you publish with a publisher, you end up making like very little money off of each book anyway.
I don't know
right?
how it works.
Yeah.
But I know that even
like they don't make a lot off
even
of
my
books.
friend Dan, like his books that I purchased.
Does he have an audiobook for
were
those yet?
expensive. No.
Ugh. You should tell him to work on that.
He's getting published for one of his series.
You should really get him to work on that.
He was, but it's not cheap.
And now he's in Australia.
He's in Australia now.
Everything's expensive there. It's like Canada, but it's in the south.
I have almost exclusively been doing audiobooks lately. I feel like I need to wash dishes or clean or do puzzles or play mindless computer games. Yeah, it's tough just to like sit and read for me lately, and I don't know why. It took me 3 weeks to read a book versus I can finish an audiobook in like a day. How much caffeine has Kivox had? Like 4 monsters?
2 monsters.
3.
Relax. 2. Today.
I'm self-published. You don't need it to be more expensive necessarily. The physical copies, I feel like they're about the same price as any adult novel, like that you purchase, but usually they're hardcover versus paperback. So like my friend that self-published, his books were paperback, but they were like $18 a piece, which is about what this was. I find that to be like the norm. Like Canada without snow?
Australia.
Oh. You have to pay an editor out of your own pocket, so to make back costs, you might jack the price up. Yes, the physical. Yeah. I don't know much about it, but I do know that the printed ones tend to be on the more expensive side. After moving, I stopped buying physical books. Moving 100 books was a pain. I don't want to think about
100 books? I can't wait till we move. We're just gonna burn the books down. Just like make a bonfire in the back and just like
or we could donate them.
Throw them in the fire and we'll live stream the burning.
It usually costs around $4 to $6 to print the book. Dang. Then yeah. I think I at least pay $18 for every book that I buy that's self-published.
How much were the sufficiently advanced magic ones and stuff?
I think those were like 15 or 16. I think they were around 18. We can Google, or not Google, check our Amazon account.
They're great books. Google how much we paid for it. How much did I pay for this?
I don't want to move just because of the books I own. We literally were talking the other day about like when we want to change our carpets to hardwood, and I'm like, we have to move all of these bookshelves out of the room and all of these books out of the room in order to make room for them to put the floors in. And oh my God, that would be so much work.
It wouldn't be that much work.
Oh, it would be a lot of work.
It'd be like a day's work to move everything out and a day's work to put everything
It's a
back.
lot. I have books in 3 different rooms. Yeah, it's overwhelming.
You're overwhelming.
All right,
guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Read that book with us. We don't have the physical one to show you. I will just pop this back. Read this book with us, and hopefully it's good. It's a lit RPG, so I hope. And I got another one in the bank in case we want to read another one next month. Another type. If you guys like it, maybe we can. Just saying. I got like 4 more of this style, this genre. My favorite genre. I'm gonna just start my own booktube channel. I only.
Why are you
what is happening?
doing that?
Ah!
All right, guys. Nah, let Meek choose next time. Well, usually I let people vote, but I don't know. I like these books, these lit RPG books. I like them.
You just don't like to admit.
No, they're not the best in my opinion because like they don't have that like character. There's a disconnect with character connection from what I've read so far. I hope that this.
So you're
one's
telling
different.
me sufficiently advanced magic is better than that, or worse than that?
Not worse. I'm saying like I just
So
don't think it's a 5-star because of that reason.
You're telling me that Obelisk Gate is better than sufficiently advanced magic?
Yes.
I hate you. We're getting a divorce. Call the lawyer tonight. It's Sunday. They probably won't pick up. But you're wrong because those books were terrible.
Okay. Thank you guys for watching.
Meek, okay.
Meek, okay. Okay, Meek. Meek, okay. I'm glad you found a genre you love. Except with zero character interaction.
What are you talking about?
They have no,
What are you talking about?
There's a disconnect, and that's what I can't stand.
Maybe you just don't understand. Maybe it's a little over your head a little bit.
No.
Maybe it's just it's too much
There's no,
stuff for you.
Every RPG I've read so far has a little bit of a disconnect
Sufficiently advanced magic.
with the character interaction. I feel like it's just not
Sacred
there.
Swords? What about 4 Sacred Swords? It was all about character. It was all about 3 characters.
That one was better with characters.
Was it better? Was it? But you just blanket statement.
Those books aren't terrible, you're wrong.
All of the books
You can't talk your stone?
Oh,
get it?
Yeah, inside joke. Sorry, guys.
Leave me alone!
So, I think that wraps it up, right?
I can't even talk to you right now.
I'm sorry.
Alright, guys. We're saying bye for the last time.
For the last time. We'll never be back again.
I'm referring to the 5th season. Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you.
Uh-huh. This is because you guys have terrible taste.
I'm not loving this.
Say bye. Say bye, Meek.
Bye, Meek.
Bye, guys. No, they already know. Do they know what bye means? No, look at them. They're getting all
like, me. Look at her.
She's like, oh, come here, then. Come here.
Even 11's like,
oh,
hey.
God. Oh, God. Hey, 11.
She's like, I'm here. Can we leave? Okay.